Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. So summer has arrived and with that we have loads of crochet crop tops. I'm really excited about that. So to start it all off we have this granny stitch top. It's worked from the top down, so it's easily customizable to fit your size and your shape. You can make it as cropped or as long as you like. You just need a weight, 2 yarn and a 3mm crochet hook. In this tutorial I make a size small, and for all other sizes you can check out my blog crochetwithcarrie.com. And the yarn I used was Drops Saffron. This is a weight 2 or a sport weight yarn and it's 100% cotton. So as I mentioned, we're going to be working from the top down and we're going to start off with our neckline. So we're going to chain 9, then we're going to single crochet into the second chain from the hook and in each chain all the way across. So at the end of this row you should have 8 single crochet. For row 2, chain 1, turn your work and then single crochet into the back loop of every stitch all the way across. And you're going to repeat this row until the end of row 90. So now we have 90 rows finished. This is what our neckline should look like now. So next we're going to join those 2 short ends together. So to do that we're just going to chain 1 and slip stitch those 2 short ends together. So now our neckband should look like this. So next we're going to turn it the right side out so that that slip stitch seam is in the inside, just like this. And now we're going to make 90 single crochet all the way around that top edge of the neckband. So chain 1 and you're going to make 1 single crochet into the ends of every single crochet row you made. So altogether you should have 90 single crochet once you're finished. So here we are at the end. I have 90 single crochet. So next we're going to slip stitch into that very first single crochet we made just to close the round. Now for round 2 we're going to chain 3. This chain 3 counts as your first double crochet, and into that same stitch you're going to make 2 more double crochets. Then chain 1, skip the next 2 single crochets and then into the next make 3 double crochets into that same stitch. And you're going to repeat that all the way around. You're going to chain 1, skip the next 2 single crochets, and then into the next make 3 double crochets. So go ahead and repeat that all the way around. So here we are towards the end, and there should be 2 single crochets left. I've just done my last cluster of double crochets. So we're going to make sure that we make a chain 1 after that last cluster, skip the next 2 single crochets, and then we're going to slip stitch into the top of that turning chain. For round 3, we're going to chain 4. This counts as your first double crochet and a chain 1. And then into that first space, make 3 double crochets. And then we're going to chain 1, and we're going to repeat that 3 more times. So into the next space, make 3 double crochets, and then we're going to make a chain 1. So repeat that until you have a total of 4 clusters. So now we have 4 clusters. Next we're going to make the first of our raglan increase. So into that next space you're going to make 3 double crochets, and then we're going to chain 2, and then into that same space you're going to make another 3 double crochets. Then you're going to chain 1, and then into the next space make 3 double crochets, then chain 1, and then you're going to repeat that 3 more times. So into the next space make 3 double crochets and a chain 1, and continue until you have a total of 4 clusters of double crochet. So now I finished my 4 clusters of double crochet. So next we're going to make our second raglan increase. So make sure that you've chained 1 after your last cluster, and then into that next space you're going to make 3 double crochet, chain 2, and then 3 double crochet. Then we're going to chain 1, and then into the next space make 3 double crochets, then chain 1, and you're going to repeat that a further 8 more times, so altogether you'll have 9 clusters of double crochets. So now I've just finished my 9 clusters of double crochets. Just make sure and count them, make sure you have everything right. And then make sure that you've also made your chain 1 after your last cluster. So into the next stitch, you're going to do your next raglan increase. So that's 3 double crochet, chain 2 and 3 double crochet. Then chain 1, and then into your next space you're going to make 3 double crochets and then a chain 1, and you're going to repeat that 3 more times, so altogether you're going to have 4 clusters of double crochet. So now you should have 4 groups of double crochet. So next we're going to make our last raglan increase, so make sure you've made your chain 1 after your last cluster. So into the next space make 3 double crochet, chain 2 and then 3 double crochet. Then make sure you've made your last chain 1 after your raglan increase. So into the next space make 3 double crochets and a chain 1, and then you're going to repeat that 3 more times, so altogether you're going to have 4 clusters of double crochet. So now we're here at the end. I've just made my 4th group of double crochets and a chain 1. So here we have one more space, so into this space you're going to make 2 double crochet, and then you're going to slip stitch into that 3rd chain just to close your round. So now at this stage your top should look like this. Here at the back, that's going to be your back. Then we have a sleeve, and then we have the front section, and then we have another sleeve. Now for round 4, we're going to chain 3. We're going to make 2 double crochets into that first chain 1 space. Then we're going to chain 1, make 3 double crochets into the next chain 1 space, and then you're going to make a chain 1 after that, and you're going to repeat that until you reach your first raglan increase. So here we are, we've just reached our first raglan increase. Make sure you chain 1 after your last cluster. So into this chain 2 space, you're going to make 3 double crochet, a chain 2, and then 3 more double crochets. Then you're going to chain 1. So next we are going to make 3 double crochets into the next chain 1 space, and then we're going to chain 1, and you're going to repeat that until you reach the second raglan increase. So here we are at the next raglan increase. Make sure you make your chain 1 after your last cluster, and into that chain 2 space make 3 double crochets, a chain 2, and 3 double crochets. Then chain 1, and you're going to repeat that. You're going to make 3 double crochets into that next chain 1 space. Then you're going to chain 1 and repeat that until you reach the next raglan increase. Once you reach that raglan increase, we're going to make 3 double crochets, a chain 2, and then 3 double crochets, then chain 1. Continue in pattern all the way around. So here we've reached the end of the row. I've just made my last chain 1, and then into that last space we're going to make 3 double crochets, and then we're going to make a chain 1, and then we're going to slip stitch into the top of that chain 3. Now for the 5th round we are going to chain 4. We're going to make 3 double crochets into that first chain 1 space, then we're going to chain 1, and then you're going to repeat that until you reach your first raglan increase. So make sure you chain one after your last cluster of double crochets. Then into your first raglan increase, you're going to make 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets, then a chain 1, then you're going to make 3 double crochets into the next space, then chain 1, continue in pattern all the way around. Make sure that you're putting your 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets and a chain 1 into every raglan increase, and just continue in pattern all the way around. Now we're here towards the end of the round. I've just made my last chain 1, and then into this last space, just right there, we're going to make 2 double crochets. And then we're going to make a slip stitch into the third chain just to close our round. So you're just going to go ahead and repeat the last 2 rounds until the end of round 14. If you want to add more rounds for a more looser fit, go ahead, do that, but just make sure that you end on a row around 5. So now your top should look like this once it's folded over. I've done a total of 14 rounds of the granny stitch, but as I mentioned earlier, you can do as many rounds as you like. It just depends on how fitted or how loose you want your top. It's completely up to you. So what we're going to do next is we're going to join so that we're creating some sleeves. So continuing on from where you are now, we're going to chain 3. We're going to make 2 double crochets into that first chain 1 space. Then we're going to chain 1, and then into the next space make 3 double crochets and then a chain 1, and repeat that until we reach our first raglan increase. So here we are, we've just reached our first raglan increase. I've made a chain 1 after my last cluster of double crochets. So into that chain 2 space, we're going to make 3 double crochets. Then we are going to chain 3. Then we're going to grab our next raglan increase. It's just directly behind, and just kind of twist it slightly. And into that chain 2 space, we're going to make 3 double crochets. Then chain 1, make 3 double crochets into your next chain 1 space, and just continue in pattern until you reach the next raglan increase. So here we've reached our next raglan increase. I've made my chain 1 after my last cluster of double crochets. So into that chain 2 space, we're going to make 3 double crochets, and then we are going to chain 3. we're going to grab our next raglan increase and we're going to turn that just slightly, and into that chain 2 space make 3 double crochets. Then you're going to chain 1, make 3 double crochets into the next chain 1 space, then chain 1, and you're going to repeat that pattern all the way around until you reach the end. And here we are towards the end of the round. So I've made my chain 1 after my last cluster, and then we're going to slip stitch into the top of that chain 3. Now for the next round, we're going to chain 4, make 3 double crochets into the next chain 1 space, and then a chain 1, and repeat that until you reach your chain 3 space. So now I have reached my chain 3 space. I've made a chain 1 after my last group of double crochets. So now into this chain 3 space, just make 3 double crochets, and then we're going to chain 1, make 3 double crochets into the next space, and then make a chain 1, and then repeat that until you reach the next chain 3 space. So here we've reached our second chain 3 space. So just like before, make sure you have chained 1 after your last group of double crochets, and then into this chain 3 space make 3 double crochets, and then we are going to chain 1, make 3 double crochets into the next space, and continue that pattern all the way around. So you're just going to repeat the stitch pattern over and over again until you're happy with the length of top you want, but just make sure that you take into account that we're going to be adding a ribbed hemline at the end, and that's about 1.5 inches, so just keep that in mind when you're crocheting the bottom body of your top. So once you're happy with the length of your top, we're going to make a single crochet into every double crochet and chain 1 space all the way around. So we're just going to chain 1, single crochet into that same stitch. You're going to single crochet into every double crochet and every chain 1 space all the way around. Once you reach the end of the round, we're just going to slip stitch into that first single crochet to close the round. So here we are at the end of the round. We're just going to slip stitch into that first single crochet, then we're going to chain 9. Then we are going to single crochet into the second chain from the hook, and then single crochet into each of the next 7 chains. So now altogether you should have 8 single crochets. So next we're going to slip stitch into each of the next 2 single crochets, then we're going to turn our work, we're going to skip over those 2 slip stitches, and then we're going to make 8 single crochet working into the back loop only. Then we're going to chain 1 and turn our work, we're going to make 8 single crochet working into the back loop only, then we're going to make a slip stitch into each of the next 2 single crochets, and then we're just going to repeat that. We're going to turn our work, skip over those 2 slip stitches, make 8 single crochet working into the back loop only, then we're going to chain 1, turn our work, make 8 single crochets working into the back loop only, and then slip stitch into each of the next 2 single crochets. And you're going to repeat that all the way around the bottom edge of your top. So once you have that done, you're just going to slip stitch the 2 ends of the ribbed hemline together, or you can just use a yarn needle and just sew it together. Next we're going to work on the sleeves, and to do that we're just going to join our yarn to any chain 1 space just on the underarm. So once you've joined, just pull your yarn through and then chain 3. And into that same space you're going to make 2 more double crochets. Then we're going to chain 1, and we're going to make 3 double crochets into the next space, and then you're going to chain 1 after those 3 double crochets, and you're just going to repeat that all the way around the entire sleeve. And you're just going to repeat the same pattern we've been doing throughout our top, and you're just going to keep going until you're happy with the length of your sleeve. But just keep in mind that we're going to have about an inch of ribbing at the end. I think I did about 4 rounds for the sleeve before I did my ribbed hem. And for the ribbed hem, you're just going to repeat the same process we did for the hemline of the top, but instead of chaining 9 for the ribbed hem, you're going to chain 6. And just repeat the same process. Go and do that ribbing around the entire sleeve and then stitch the 2 ends together. And that's it. That's your top finished. All you have to do now is just weave in your ends and you're good to go. And if you like this tutorial, please give it a thumbs up, please subscribe, leave a comment down below what you want me to make for this upcoming summer season. And don't forget the free written pattern is on my blog, crochetwithcarrie.com. So until next time, take care.